So welcome to today's video, and today we're going to be talking about how to set up your home router. So behind me, I have a few routers. This is a TP-Link um, Omada version. They come in many different varieties, variations, sizes, and colors. So just inside of my lab, I got a few that I wanted to just walk you through. This was actually a post that someone made, and I just wanted to take the time out to just go through the small steps to show you how you would actually set up your home router. So this is one version, and then this is an older version of the Linksys models that I used to love these routers. You can do so much with these. So this is like an older technology. I don't think support is available for these anymore, and I don't think they really sell them. You might be able to find them online like eBay or whatever, but this is like another version that used to be out there, right? And then you also have ASUS. It's another brand technology that is also out there. I absolutely love ASUS products. I love their routers as well. There's a lot of stuff you can do with these type of routers. These are more designed on the European side. So I actually bought this one when I was overseas, and it actually has good bandwidth, good feed, and stuff like that, right? Then tested out TP-Link's new modern one. This is also the AX1500. They also have the AX1800, albeit also just a little bit more strength, but then this one also supports Wi-Fi 6 as well. This is a version that's also out there, and like I said, there's so many. I'm just going over a few that I actually have in my lab. And then I picked up this one online recently. I really liked the way it looked, the design and everything. It looks really futuristic. It looks like a robot from the sky. So if you actually mount it somewhere, it will look like this, right? So there are different versions out there. Depending on the one you choose, can also depend on the model. It will depend on basically what you want. If you are a home user and you're just looking for a regular router, honestly, if you went back to the old school version, you will still have access to the internet at home. If you got something a little bit more sophisticated and futuristic looking, they would also work. But these just support newer technology. The ranges are probably a little bit more advanced. You can probably shoot further with them, different setups and so forth. But most likely, the setups, no matter what or which one you choose, they're practically always going to be the same. So I wanted to walk you through. On the back of each router, most likely they look like this, right? And like you can compare them to the older versions. These just don't have the color that's associated with it, right? As you can see, older model just don't have the colors. Then technology changed and they'll just add colors to it, so you'll see that they look like this, right? Doesn't really matter. One of these will say internet or will say WAN, right? And then you'll have either 4 or 5 ports depending on the brand. In this one you'll see that the color is here, right? And the yellow will just be for WAN or the internet, and then you just have 4 other ports. Now, the newer routers, they come with bigger speed. Like for example, this one, it supports 2.5 Gs and then also 1G ports. So like I said, the newer ones, you just get a little bit more. But it doesn't really matter. If you're at home and you're trying to set it up, this is what you'll need to do. So once you have your router in hand, right, this way, you will plug your router into the power socket, right? So you'll plug this in, and then this will power up. You will then see the lights. Sometimes they have lights on the front, and then sometimes they also have lights on the back of it right here, right? Somewhere along this line, you will see lights. Now, on your computer, you will get any type of CAT cable. And when I say CAT, it could be CAT 5, 5 Echo, CAT 6. If you don't understand the cable, just tell them you're looking for Ethernet cable when you go and purchase it. And this is what you'll need to connect to your computer if you're trying to set this up with your internet. Okay, if you look on the back of the computer, before you plug this into your internet, you want to set this up first. So one part of this cable, you will plug this not inside of the yellow where it says for the internet. Just find one of the regular ports, they're called the LAN ports, or just the regular ports, and you will plug one end into your device like this. Now the other end, this part, you will plug into your laptop or your desktop, or if you have a computer that just has a port, you know where this goes. It only fits one place on the computer. You plug this into your computer, right? So this is how you will hook it up to go into the initial setup of configuring this. And I'm going to walk you through the demonstration of what you most likely will see for almost all of the routers. So just remember, Ethernet cable, plug in one side of here and here. Now, if you make the mistake and you plug it into the wrong port, once you go into the configuration, you will not pull an IP address, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. All you have to do is come back over here and look for the port and just switch it. Now, on the back side of these, before we get into the instruction phase, there's always a little tiny circle, right? So you probably could see it right here. Let's see if you can, okay, there it is. So if you can see right over here, trying to backtrack the camera, right there. Right over here, not there, right over here, right there it goes. You'll see a little tiny circle. Most of the routers for your home, they have that little tiny circle. That circle is to reset your router. So in the event you lock yourself out, or in the event you did something to it, or let's say you purchased one from somebody and it had configurations on the inside and you're not able to actually get in it, you just need to find a paperclip, preferable paperclip. You'll put the paperclip on the inside, press and hold, that's the best technique for about 5 to 10 seconds, right? And then you release it, unplug the power cable. So I'll try to see if I can do it with you, if I can find a paperclip. So let's say this was my paperclip. I don't think I can get it all the way in. But in the hole right here, you just insert it right there, all the way in, press and hold for about 5 to 10 seconds, and hold it. Then once you are done, unplug the power for another 5 to 10 seconds, and then plug it back in and power it up. That is the best way to reset your router if your configurations, or if you forget to get in. Okay, so that's how you plug up, and that's how you reset. Now, I'm going to pause this video and I'm going to show you how you'll most likely hook it up for the configuration piece. Alright guys, so we're back. I'm about to show you the step-by-step process now to get into the console and configure your home router. Right, now the first thing we want to do, we want to check out your network connections, right? So there's a few ways you can do it. On your keyboard, you will see a Windows button if you're using Windows. If you're not using Windows and you're using something else like Mac OS or Linux or whatever, then you'll need to go to your terminal to do the same. So on your Windows computer, if you're using Windows, this is what you want to do. You can find the Windows button and you're going to hit the Windows plus the R key at the same time. So Windows plus R is going to, right, is going to pop up and give you something like this. You should see run. The R means for run. So Windows R means to run. And you're going to type in what's called ncpa.cpl. That is an easy way to pull up network connections. Okay, so once you hit OK, your network connection should pop up just like this. Another way to find it is if you're on Windows, you can also hit the Windows button. If you forgot, you just type in network connections. So you just want to type network, and you will see view network connections right there, and boom, same thing. Multiple ways to get to the same process. Alright, next. On your system, depending if you have certain things available, mine I have Bluetooth, I have 2 NIC cards on my computer, and then I also have Wi-Fi. Yours might be different. You might have Wi-Fi, and you also might have internet port, or just 2. You don't want to configure your router with Wi-Fi because it's not configured yet. So you can't really use the Wi-Fi yet to configure. You need to go inside to configure it. So if you see your Wi-Fi, go ahead and disable it. Right here it would say disable, like for example, if this was it, You just click disable, turn it off for now because you don't need it right now. Okay, so you're looking for your other NIC card, which is called network interface card, right? That's what they call it, NIC. This is the one you want to make sure that it's turned on and it's connected to your router. If it is disconnected, you will see a red X. Okay, once you have a connection, it looks something like this. So what you want to do, you can do a few things. You can right click and go to status, and it will show you if something is going on. If the internet was connected, it will say connected up here, and then you can click on the details and it will show you. Right here, where you see the details, if you see a 169 address, now this router have problems. And another way to verify is this. We're going to go ahead and pull up what's called PowerShell, or you can use terminal. So Windows button again, you can hit it up and you can just type in terminal, which is your command prompt the same way we're going in. If you're on the Unix or Mac OS, you're going to go into terminal. If you're on a Linux box, it should be ifconfig. If you're on the Windows, it will be ipconfig. So you just want to type the words just like this, ipconfig, and hit enter. Now, as you can see, I'm verifying that I do have a 169 address, and this means that the connection from my PC to this router is not the best right now. It's not a bad connection, it's just a router with Windows telling me that I have a 169 address. Now in the IT networking world, a 169 address is called a HIPAA. I don't want to confuse you if you don't know what that is. I'll talk about that later in another video. But it just means it's an automatically assigned address because the router did not give your PC a proper address, which is a private address. So what we have to do at this point is reset. And guess what? I showed you guys how to reset earlier. So now is the time for you to go get that paper clip, poke it inside of that little hole, hold it now for a few seconds, and reset that router. And I'm going to go ahead and reset mine, and I'll be right back. Now I'm waiting for the router to reset. I also wanted to show you what it will look like when the network cable is not plugged in. Right there, I was saying you will see a red X. So if you see the red X, that means it's not connected. Now it changed because the router just reset and restarted. So that means now the computer is talking to the router, and we should be able to pick up an IP. So we're going to give this a few seconds, we're going to wait, and then we're going to go back through our troubleshooting steps so I can show you guys how to get into the interface. Alright guys, so now we are back. As you can see, I left the network connections up so you can see the difference between before what the router was picking up with the computer. Well, actually the computer is picking up the router and what it looks like. As you can see now, it's solid and it says network. So we're going to go back here and we're going to click on status. And under status, we're going to click details again. And now, as you can see, we have a different address. It's showing a 192. Folks, that is a good address to have. If you have a 172, a 10, or a 192, most likely it's a 192 address. But a 192 is what you want to see for you to get there. Then we're going to verify again over in our terminal or our PowerShell or command prompt, whichever one you opened up. We're going to go ahead and hit our commands again. And this is what you want to see right there. Now, in order for you to find a way to get in, you need to go ahead and use the gateway IP in order to get to inside of your router. So as you can see right here, that 192.168.110.1, that is the gateway, meaning your computer is connecting from where it's at into the interface of that router. That's how we're going to connect. So 110.1 is where I need to type into my address bar. So you want to open up a new bar, and you're just going to type in 192 in the bar by itself, .168.110.1, right? And there you go. I'm configuring the RAID, the ones that I showed you earlier. So this is the interface now for your router. Since this is a newer device, most of the time, it will ask you to upgrade if you're connected to the internet, and you can do an upgrade or whatever. We're not connected to the internet right now, so we're not. But since it's the first time I'm accessing the internet, you can go ahead and click configure. It's going to tell me that it's not detected, yada, yada, yada. And I could go ahead and set this up this way, right? So I can do a recheck if I wanted to hook it up to the internet, but I don't want to because I already have all this stuff configured. But it gives you the option if you want to set up your router as a repeater, This means that if you already have a router and you just need this router that you're setting up to actually take that signal and repeat it across the home, you can set it up as an access point so it can repeat those signals. Okay, now since we don't want to connect it, we're just going to go ahead and go in without the internet connection. Now, as you can see, it failed to acquire an IP address. This is just from the outside ISP. Don't worry about that. Now it's going to ask me how I want to configure the WAN. The WAN port is not connected. That is the yellow port that I was showing you guys in the earlier. So that port is not connected. You don't need to worry about that. You can skip this step and go to next. And it's asking me now, do you want to use a Wi-Fi password as a management password? No, you never want to do this. Always use a different password for your setup. Okay, now as you can see, we are in. This is just one version of a router. Older routers, you'll have to log in before you can actually get into the interface. Matter of fact, I might just show you guys how that works. Okay, so this is the way we're in. This is your SSID. So this will be basically when you're setting up your Wi-Fi to connect later. This would be what you want to call your Wi-Fi, right? So you can call this whatever you want. Maybe just call it internet. Don't ever name it this way, but internet. Or you can call it whatever. Big Mama Wi-Fi. If you're at grandma's house, that's what the name of it, their Wi-Fi is called, right? Then your security. This right here is just different versions of security. Once you start working on network security, Network Plus, you'll understand the difference. I don't want to use this video to explain all of this, but this is just the authentication protocol that you're going to use to authenticate. Hopefully that makes sense. This is how your system is going to connect with authentication and security to get to the Wi-Fi. Now, Wi-Fi passwords, you want to use something that is long, between 8 to 16 characters. I like to use something crazy, so let's go with I don't know. Let's use something like that. Will be long enough, right? That you can set. You can also, if you have a gaming Wi-Fi, since this also offers different experiences, you can set up multiple different Wi-Fi, probably a 2.5G or a 5G. You can probably also set one for your guests. So if your guest comes over, they're not connecting to the same Wi-Fi you're using for your house. You can have like a guest Wi-Fi that's separate, one for your games and so forth. So basically, you'll just go through the whole settings here, set up your Wi-Fi, set up your passwords, your locations, your zones, and then you'll just click next. For this, it should be the same, right? This one is also built in with IoT devices. IoT, we'll talk about it later. It's a whole different topic on IoT, okay? So we'll skip this for now. Just go ahead and hit finish. Once you're finished, you're inside of the router. You can see now the different things that are connected. You can add devices. It will show you the actual device. This is what I have. It will show you one client that I'm connecting to. Network errors are showing that basically you don't have access to the internet. You can go to your clients and see what client is connected. It will show you. Right, this is just the computer name that I have, the IP address that I was given, and so forth. Internet I'm not connected to because I didn't set it up. Wi-Fi we typed in junked earlier. And then there's just more options that you can set in here, like VPN settings and a whole bunch of other stuff. But this is how you get in to set it up for just the basics. Now, if you want to learn more about setting up VPNs and all this extra stuff, let me know. We can go ahead and create another video for that. But the basics for this router, this is it, guys. You're in, it's set up, and you configure it. And once you are good to go, and you set up your Wi-Fi, you can actually go on your computer or your phone, right? So since I have this set, let me see if I can demonstrate and show you guys for my Wi-Fi. I'm looking for Big Mama Wi-Fi. So as you can see right there, it will show you that I was successfully able to set it up. And Big Mama Wi-Fi is showing up on my stuff. So that means I was successfully able to set up the Wi-Fi, and then you'll be able to connect with all your devices. Then the next thing you'll need to do now, your modem, from your modem, you will just connect your internet straight into your box. And then you have internet, and that's it. Your home router is set up, and it's good to go. The variations of these, though, will differ. Just as a disclaimer, this Wi-Fi is made by Ray or Ray. If you have an Asus, it's different. It could be Cisco. It could be any of these other models that's out here. Linksys, TP-Link. There's so many different versions out there. If you get lost and you can't figure it out, just do a nice Google search. Default passwords for my router, and it will show you. Admin most likely is the default password, or root, admin root, something of that nature. It's already posted online. You don't have to do much research. And that's it, guys. Once you log in, you just configure it, and you're good to go. I hope this video was useful. I hope you got something out of it. And if you need help, just hit me up, and I'll help you out to get this thing set up. It's really easy, not too complicated. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video.